The kitchen renovations continue, and a little bit of collateral damage discovered. The condensate pipe from the new boiler is leaking a little bit there, and the rising main is just weeping a little bit from the gland, so I think we're probably going to replace both of those items. Now, with the condensate pipe, you can see quite clearly there's a small leak here from that joint. So that should be easy enough to just cut that piece out. Now, with the rising main, you could probably turn the water supply off and undo the actual valve and clean it up and put it back together, and it would probably be fine. However, if it continued dripping, albeit very slow, it's going to have a bad effect on your new kitchen units. So what we're going to do is see if we can replace this tap today, or this stopcock I should call it correctly. We're slightly going to be boxed into a corner with the configuration of this DIY plumbing. But let's get some tools and get started. Now, when you're working on your mains, obviously you want to be able to turn the juice off in the street, and that is usually somewhere here. If you've got a new water meter, should be able to just turn this. Once you've turned your water off in the street, just make sure there's nothing flowing through your pipes. So that tap is wide open, so the water supply should now be turned off, which means we can safely uncouple this stopcock on the rising main. This job's likely to entail quite a bit of kneeling down, so borrow one of your wife's best cushions. She'll never know. Get yourself a couple of big spanners, monkey wrenches, and a few miscellaneous bits. Obviously a massive towel. Orange is okay, that's an okay colour. Other colours are available. We're probably going to need some Boss White, and of course our brand new part. What we don't want to do is disturb this joint if we can help it, so I'll put a spanner on there just to take some of the pressure off while we try to undo this compression joint. Okay, so the whole tap's moving. Okay. What we will do in that case is we'll just wrestle with the two sides. Okay, the top one's moving. So what we will do now is just grab these grips just to take the slack up here. Now there's more than likely going to be a little bit of leakage here. Simply because of the water that's sitting in the pipe and a little bit that's in this leg here. Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? Do you need more? Now, as you can see, we are trapped in here. We're kind of trapped. I can't lift that. So what I'm going to do is hopefully uncouple this pipe out of this bracket here, and then we might get a bit of leeway. Okay, so we've wrestled that out of there because there was a little bit of slack. Now, I believe there is a thing called a olive puller. It would be nice to use fresh olives on here, which come with our new fitting. Just depends how difficult it is to get that off there. We can give it a little go, I suppose. You can have a go at this method, which is not automatically recommended. That's one way to get the old olive off. Of course, you risk upsetting other stuff. Well, it's off. I might edit that bit out because it's not a very clever way to work, but nevertheless we got our olive off. So what I'm going to do now is just tidy this up a bit, clean it up a bit. If I can find a little bit of steel wool, I'll actually give that a rub round now. This will just remove any old Boss White or anything that might be on there. It's all belt and braces, really. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, guys. The fragments of steel are going down inside that rising main pipe. Right. You'll see on the stopcock it has an arrow to give you a clue which direction the water might be wanting to travel in. Now this fitting is a Yorkshire fitting. I think it's not called Pegler or something. Well, it's actually Prestex, it says on it. This is a proper pucker rising main stopcock. There are ones on the market for half price, which, you know, personally this is the most crucial stopcock in the building, in my opinion. So why go cheap when you can get one that should last almost forever? Now the trick is to remember to put this top half in position before you fiddle your stopcock back in. Personally, I like to use some Boss White, not always 100% necessary. Unfortunately, the Boss White demonstration failed to record, which is entirely my fault. Here's one of these cheapo stopcocks with a little copper washer in it. What I would do normally is put the back nut and the olive on there, take a little bit of Boss White, just give it a smear around there, not a massive amount, just that much, and a tiny little smear around the inside of the shoulder of the stopcock, that much. Use your kitchen towel to get the goo off your fingers, and then that would just go in there, and that Boss White helps the thing to seal itself. When you tighten that up, that will be a nice watertight joint. Right, I've turned the mains back on in the street, and you probably hear the kitchen sink running now. What we'll do is just keep an eye on this for an hour or so before we call it completely satisfactory. Just to check, make sure there's no weeps coming from anywhere. I'm a little bit concerned about the potential difficulties of putting a 15mm fitting on a 1/2" copper tube. Admittedly, there's the difference between 15 and 1/2" is minimal, but anyway, we'll see. Now the tools we've used, you can see what they are: a couple of spanners and some grips. The Boss White, always useful for any of these compression fittings. And thanks very much for watching, guys. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, that would be good, thank you, and you'll be able to see what else we get up to in the DIY plumbing and a building department. Oh, and just a quick PS before we go. This condensate pipe from the new boiler, I've just cut it there, by the way. I'm not sure this existing pipe was actually running downhill. It looks to be about level to me. So what I might do is just whack half a house brick under there, just to give it a bit of a fall. I may even move it along a bit, just to give it a bit of a fall. And what I'm going to do now is just ease that corner a bit by connecting up these two, what do you call them, 45s are they? To give the pipe a bit of a, give the condensate a little bit of a help as it comes trickling down the condensate outlet pipe. That's that job done, neatly put back together again. Hopefully that'll help the condensate get away. I put a little clip on there, so we should now be able to take that brick away from there. The condensate is running downhill. Full disclosure, guys, I think my solvent adhesive is getting a little bit old now, and you know what it's like. If you don't get the joints together quickly, you're struggling. I did mark that one, only got that one halfway in before it went off. I don't think that's going to cause a major issue. So that's that done. Thanks for watching, guys, and like I said earlier, if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, that'd be really great. Thanks very much.